Hi, I'm LaCamera, and this is my senior showcase. I've been working very hard all semester on each and every monologue and scene that you're about to see tonight, and I am very excited to share that work with you all. I had the pleasure to work with my good friend James Oakry on lights and sound, my beautiful and talented friend Hannah Rosser in a scene by William Shakespeare, and I am very lucky to have gotten to work with a very talented alum, Benjamin Mowrer. I am very excited to showcase what I have learned over my time here at YSU, and I hope that you enjoy the show. The first piece I would like to share is from Company, a musical comedy composed by Stephen Sondheim and book by George Furth. Company follows main character Bobby, his group of married friends, and his 3 girlfriends, who we see in no particular order. My character is April, one of Bobby's girlfriends. Bobby brings April back to his place for one of those nights, and we see April naively describe an experience from her past. Let's see how it plays out. Right after I got to college, a friend of mine with a garden apartment gave me a cocoon for my dorm room. He collects stuff like that. Caterpillars, insects, and stuff. It was attached to a twig, and he told me that one morning I'd wake up to a beautiful butterfly flying around my room. He said that when they first come out, they're soaking wet, and there's even a tiny little speck of blood in there. Isn't that fascinating? But within the hour, they're dried off and they're ready to fly. Well, I told him I had a cat. I had a cat then, and he told me to just put it somewhere where the cat can't get it. Which is impossible, but what can you do? So I put it up on a ledge where the cat never went, and the next morning it was still there, at least, so I thought it was a safe place to leave it. Anyway, about a week later, the guy calls me very, very early this one morning, and he says, "April, do you have a butterfly this morning?" So I put the phone down and I managed to get up and look, and sure enough, there was a wet spot and a tiny speck of blood and no butterfly. And I thought, oh God, the cat got it. So I picked up the phone to tell him, and suddenly I saw it. It was under the dressing table. It was moving one wing. The cat had got it, but it was still alive. So I told him, and he got so upset. He said, "Oh God, April, don't you see? That's a life, a living thing." So I got dressed, and I went down to the park, and I put it on a rose. It was summer then, and it seemed like it was going to be okay. I thought so, at least. But man, I felt so damaged by him. Awful! That was just cruel. So I got home and I called him back and I said, "Listen, I'm a living thing too, you shithead." I never heard from him again. That poor butterfly. And poor April. But we now must move on to something with a different feel, as we move to Sweet Bird of Youth by Tennessee Williams. In this piece, I play Heavenly, a young girl with a powerful politician for a father and a runaway childhood lover called Chance, who ultimately made Heavenly sick and resulted in her botched hysterectomy. Here we see Heavenly pleading and apologizing to her father, describing how she feels about her unfortunate circumstances. Here is Heavenly from Sweet Bird of Youth. Don't give me your voice of God speech, Papa, there was a time when you could have saved me by letting me marry the boy when he was still young and clean. But instead you drove him away. Drove him out of St. Cloud. And when he came back, you took me out of St. Cloud and tried to force me to marry some 50-year-old moneybag that you wanted something out of. And then another. And another. All of them ones you wanted something out of. I'd gone, so chance went away. Tried to compete. Make himself as big as these big shots you tried to use me for a bond with. He went. He tried. But when the right doors wouldn't open, he went in the wrong ones, and Papa, you married for love. Why wouldn't you let me do it? While I was still young inside and the boy was still clean, still decent. You married for love. But you wouldn't let me do it. And even though you'd done it, you broke Mama's heart. Miss Lucy was your mistress long before Mama died. And Mama was there, just in front of you. Can I go in now, Papa? Can I go in now, Papa? I'm sorry my operation has brought this embarrassment on you, but can you imagine it, Papa? I felt worse than embarrassed when I found out that Dr. George Scudder's knife had cut the youth out of my body and made me a childless woman. Dry. Cold. Empty. Like an old woman. I feel as though I ought to rattle like a dead, dried up vine in the Gulf wind blows, but Papa, I won't embarrass you anymore. Next, we have our first scene of the evening. In this scene from Dead Man's Cell Phone by Sarah Rule, I played Jean, a woman who was sitting in a cafe who just happened upon a dead man called Gordon and felt the need to tie up his unfinished business when she answered his cell phone. Hence, Dead Man's Cell Phone. My incredible scene partner is Benjamin Mowrer, an alum of YSU and also my significant other. He plays Dwight, Gordon's brother, and Jean's newfound love interest. We got to have a lot of fun together in this scene because we simply got to play together. Please enjoy Dead Man's Cell Phone by Sarah Rule.
I was dreaming about you and the letterpress. I dreamed you were the letter Z.
Why Z?
2 lines, us, connected by a diagonal, Z.
Oh, Dwight.
If we're ever parted, we can't recognize each other because of death or some other calamity, just say the letter Z to me. It'll be our password.
Z.
Let's never be parted. I don't need more than 12 hours to get to know you, Jean. Do you? We exchange little pieces of our souls. I have a little bit of you, you have a little bit of me. Like a torn jacket. You gave me one of your buttons. I love you, Jean. Don't get that.
It'll just take a second. Hello? Are you sitting down? This may come as a very great shock to you, but Gordon passed away.
Jean, who's on the phone?
I'm sorry, who's this? A business colleague. Yes, the funeral was yesterday. Yes, it was a very nice service. It was Catholic, so it wasn't very personal. I'm sorry, are you Catholic? No? Oh, good.
Jean, come here.
I'm on the phone. Thank you, but if you want to offer your condolences, you should write to Hermione and Harriet Gottlieb. Their address is 111 Shank
Jean.
Avenue. I'm on the phone. No, I don't know anything about a written will. I'm sorry. I have to go. I hope you have a pleasant day despite the bad news. Goodbye.
Who is that?
A business colleague.
I don't think you want to get mixed up in any of that.
Oh, Dwight, I'll be fine.
I forbid you to talk to any of Gordon's colleagues.
You forbid me.
Get rid of the phone, Jean. It's bad luck.
It brought me to you, didn't it?
It's not good for you. Life is for the living. Me, you, living. Life. 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 If you answer that phone, Jean, if you answer that phone...
What?
I will... Oh, it'll make me really sad.
I have to answer the phone, Dwight. You know, sometimes it feels like you didn't even love your own brother. Hello? Jean speaking. It's Hermione. She needs a ride home. Moving on from that, we move to a more wholesome monologue from And Baby Make 7 by Paula Vogel. In And Baby Make 7, Ruth's partner Anna is pregnant with their roommate Peter's baby. But before baby comes, they must creatively figure out how to rid their apartment of Anna and Ruth's 3 imaginary children, Cecil, Orphan, and Henry. In this scene, we see Ruth, as she lovingly describes how she and Anna have always wanted children. This just may not be how she planned it. Take a look at Ruth from And Baby Make 7 by Paula Vogel. He looks just like you. I guess Anna and I really started talking about having children after our first anniversary together. You know how it is. That first year, you spend every moment in side glances at your lover, learning this new alphabet. Her face, her walk, her gestures, how she holds a pen, how she chews the inside of her cheek in concentration, or how her left nostril flares ever so slightly when she's amused. And you feel so ardent. You're in first grade all over again, in love with the teacher. So much in love, you wake up early every morning to study this new alphabet, memorizing her face in the pillow. And I thought, somewhere in the United States, a pioneer geneticist, a woman in a lab coat, would take some of our DNA and combine it in a petri dish in a little honeymoon culture at just the right temperature. And then this growing synthesis would be transplanted into one of us, And 9 months later, he or she would emerge with Anna's eyes winking underneath my eyebrows. And then finally I thought, well, I can see my face anytime I want to in the mirror. But I could see Anna's face at birth. Anna in diapers. A little Anna coming home from school. Or if the baby had been born a boy, even better. I'd get to see his Adam's apple growing underneath her chin. Or I'd get to experience that awkward moment right before puberty when I'd mistake his voice on the phone for hers. Well, I guess I didn't think this all the way through. Next, we see Twelfth Night by William Shakespeare. I actually had the privilege to do this scene twice now. If you didn't get a chance to see An Evening with Billy Shakes, well, fear not, for I have brought this scene over from that experience and get to do it again with my amazing friend Hannah Rosser. In this piece, I am playing Viola, a young woman who is posing as a young man called Cesario, after she shipwrecked and lost her twin brother, Sebastian. Hannah Rosser plays Olivia, a beautiful woman of noble birth. Duke Orsino has sent Viola, as Cesario, to proclaim his love for Olivia, and Olivia wants nothing to do with Duke Orsino. And in a turn of events, Olivia falls in love with Cesario. Here is Twelfth Night by William Shakespeare. The Honorable Lady of the House. Which is she?
Speak to me. I shall answer for her. Your will?
Most radiant, exquisite, and unmatchable beauty. I pray you tell me if this be the lady of the house, for I never saw her. I would be loath to cast away my speech, for besides that it is excellently well penned, I have taken great pains to con it. Good beauties, let me sustain no scorn, for I am very comfortable, even to the least sinister usage.
Whence came you, sir?
I can say little more than I have studied, and that question is out of my part. Good gentle one, give me modest assurance if you be the lady of the house, that I may proceed with my speech.
Are you a comedian?
No, my profound heart. By the very fangs of malice, I swear I am not that I play. Are you the lady of the house?
If I do not usurp myself, I am.
Most certain. If you are she, you do usurp yourself. For what is yours to bestow is not yours to reserve. But this is for my permission. I will on with my speech in your praise and then show you the heart of my message.
Come to what is important. I forgive you the praise.
Alas, I took great pains to study it, and 'tis poetical.
'Tis more the like to be feigned. I pray you keep it in. I heard you were saucy at my gates, and allowed your approach to wander at you rather than to hear you. If you be not mad, be gone. If you have reason, be brief. 'Tis not the time of moon with me to make one, and so skipping a dialogue.
Tell me your mind. I am a messenger.
Sure, you have some hideous matter to deliver when the courtesy of it is so fearful. Speak your office.
It alone concerns your ear. I bring no overture of war, no taxation of homage. I hold the olive in my hand. My words are as full of peace as matter.
Yet you began rudely. What are you? What would you?
The rudeness that hath appeared in me have I learned from my entertainment. What I am and what I would are a secret is made in head. To your ears, divinity. To any others, profanation.
Give us the place alone. We will hear this divinity. Now, sir, what is your text?
Most sweet lady.
A comfortable doctrine, and much may be said of it. Where lies your text?
In Orsino's bosom.
In his bosom. In what chapter of his bosom?
To answer by the method in the first of his heart.
Oh, I have read it. It is heresy. Have you no more to say?
Good madam. Let me see your face.
Have you any commission from your lord to negotiate with my face? You are now out of your text. But we will draw the curtain and show you the picture. Look you, sir. Such a one I was this present. 'Tis not well done.
Excellently done, if God did all.
'Tis engraved, sir. 'Twill endure wind and weather.
'Tis beauty truly blent, whose red and white nature's own sweet and cunning hand laid on. Lady, you are the cruelest she alive, if you were to leave these graces to the grave and leave the world no copy.
Oh, sir, I will not be so hard-hearted. I will give out divers schedules of my beauty. It shall be inventoried, and every particle and utensil labeled to my will as item, 2 lips, indifferent red, item, 2 gray eyes with lids to them, item, 1 neck, 1 chin, and so forth. Were you sent hither to praise me?
I see what you are. You are too proud. But if you are the devil, you are fair. My lord and master loves you. Oh, such love could be recompensed, though you were crowned the nonpareil of beauty.
How does he love me?
With adorations, fertile tears, with groans that thunder love, and with sighs of fire.
Your lord does know my mind. I cannot love him. Yet I suppose him virtuous, know him noble, of great estate, of fresh and stainless youth, in voices well divulged, free, learned, and valiant, and in dimension and the shape of nature, a gracious person. But I cannot love him. He might have took his answer long ago.
If I did love you in my master's flame, with such a suffering, such a deadly life, in your denial I would find no sense. I would not understand it.
Why? What would you?
Make me a willow cabin at your gate, and call upon my soul within the house. Write loyal cantons of contemned love, and sing them loud even in the dead of night. Halloo your name to the reverberant hills, and let the babbling gossip of the air cry out, Olivia! 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 Oh, you should not rest here between the elements of air and earth, but you should pity me.
You might too much. What is your parentage?
Above my fortunes, yet my state is well. I am a gentleman.
Get you to your lord. I cannot love him. Let him send no more. Unless, perchance, you come to me again to tell me how he takes it. Fare you well. I thank you for your pains. Spend this for me.
I am no feed post, lady. Keep your purse. My master, not myself, lacks recompense. Love, make his heart a flint that you shall love, and let your fervor, like my master's, be placed in contempt. Farewell, fair Cruelty. After Shakespeare comes more Shakespeare. In Act 3, Scene 2 of The Winter's Tale, we see Hermione being prosecuted in open court. She has been accused of adultery, her baby thought to be the child of Polynices by her jealous husband, Leontes. Hermione is being wrongly accused, and in this monologue says her final piece before being convicted. Please have a look at Hermione from The Winter's Tale. Sir, spare your threats. The bug which you would fright me with, I seek. To me, life can be no commodity. The crown and comfort of my life, your favor I do give lost. For I do feel it gone, but know not how it went. My second joy, and first fruits of my body, from his presence I am barred like one infectious. My third comfort, starred most unluckily from my breast, the innocent milk still in its most innocent mouth, hauled out to murder. Myself on every post, proclaimed a strumpet. The immodest hatred, the childbed privilege denied, which longs to women of all fashion. Lastly, hurried here to this place in the open air, before I have got strength of limit. Now, my liege, tell me what blessings have I here alive, that I should fear to die? Therefore proceed. But yet hear this. Mistake me not, no life. I prize it not a straw, but for mine honor, which I would be free, if I shall be condemned upon surmises. But what your jealousies awake, I tell you, 'tis rigor and not law. Your honors all, I do refer me to the oracle. Apollo be my judge. And now for something completely different. My next piece is from a one-woman show entitled Whose Holiday? The show follows Cindy Lou Who, now an adult, originally portrayed by the great Leslie Margarita. I watched the stream of the original production over winter break, and I thought that a cut from this show would be the perfect left field choice for a monologue. I've never gotten to play a character like this before, and I had so much fun playing and creating my own version of Cindy Lou. So here's Whose Holiday? Okay! So, back to what happened that one crazy Christmas, as that a Grinch rode away with our toys on the Isthmus. Oh, an isthmus is a little strip of land forming a link between two larger parts of land, usually joining structures, craters, or clefts larger than itself. I'm sure that went right over your silly little heads. We'll try to dumb it down from now on. Well, sudden we heard a boo-boo, boo-boo from a bugle high on a hill out of view. Then a sled tumbled down from the snowy white cliff. With that man-beast aboard, we remained rather stiff. That creature, that ogre who took everything, brought all our toys back when we started to sing. Then I thought to myself, how peculiar, how strange, that someone like him was now able to change. We Whos were so moved by his act of contrition, we invited him to stay for our holiday tradition. Christmas is a time to forgive and to care. We asked him to stay. We added a chair. That Grinch sat to my left at our afternoon feast. We even asked him to carve our delicious roast beast. After dinner, he bravely told us the facts, how he lived by himself with just his dog Max. Such a sad little life, brought a tear to my face. How he could live by himself in that faraway place. Well, from that day forward we remained rather chummy. That green thing and I. He was charming and funny. He would drive into town on his little ox cart. He was thoughtful and kind, for an ugly old fart. He taught me to skate, how to ride my bike down the street. He took me for ice cream. Oh, that monster was sweet. Years flew by, and we remained rather close. My school chums didn't get it. They just thought he was gross. But every once in a while you meet someone offbeat who teaches you new lessons, makes you complete. I didn't care if he was different or not like the rest. He treated me nicely. That was my only test. But things started to change when I turned 18. I was becoming a woman. And he was still green. The night of my birthday, he took me down to the dock, where he gave me my present, his big, thick, long, excuse me. Boy, was she a lot of fun to get to know. Now we circle back to another scene with Ben. In this scene from The Altruists by Nikki Silver, we see a very flamboyant brother, Ronald, played by Benjamin Mowrer, and his over-the-top soap opera actress sister, Sydney. Sydney had gunned down her narcissistic boyfriend Ethan, and freaked out by what she'd done, she runs to her brother Ronald for help, where he more or less reluctantly agrees. Ben and I had a lot of fun with this scene as well. We've never gotten to play parts like this across from one another, and it was a blast to be so over the top. Please enjoy The Altruists by Nikki Silver.
I hate my life. My life is over.
Don't say that.
Why not? It's true. What am I? I'm a 29-year-old soap opera actress. Even if I claim temporary insanity...
Temporary?
Oh, screw you. Even if I claim self-defense or a chemical imbalance. The latter of which I think is highly likely. You know I'm on Atkins.
What?
Atkins? The Atkins diet? All the protein and fat you can shove down your greasy throat diet? That could make a person crazy, couldn't it?
Something has.
There was that woman, that matronly woman. She shot her diet doctor and she got off.
No, she didn't.
I detest you. Couldn't you let me be falsely optimistic for a moment? So, all right, I claim self-defense, then what? The show will
drop me like a bad habit. I can tell. They think I'm fat and old. My God, they dress me in nun's outfits. At 29, I'm too old for TV and too young for prison. I can't go to prison. They'd eat me alive.
You won't go to prison.
It's all lesbians. Did you know that? All lesbians. They'd go insane. When, I ask you, when was the last time they saw a waistline like mine? I don't like lesbians. I'm scared of them.
You like Sybil and Audrey.
Not really.
I always knew you were shallow, but I never thought you were homophobic.
I'm not. I'm scared of lesbians.
What do you think the word means?
Don't criticize me. Can't you see I'm in trouble? I've nowhere else to turn. You're my brother. You're supposed to love me. Love me, goddamn you, help me!
Okay. Ew. Just stop crying.
Thank you.
I will help you.
You will?
Of course.
I love you.
I know.
You're my brother.
Are you hungry?
No, I'm in ketosis.
What?
Deprived of carbohydrates. My body's burning fat for fuel.
Oh. Well, calm down.
I knew it, Ronald. I always knew it despite our differences, that you would come through for me. We could make it look like a suicide. Ethan drank too much and he got depressed a lot. I could forge a note and you could clean the gun.
Sydney.
What?
3 times. You shot him 3 times.
Oh. Yes. Right. Kind of hard to make that look like suicide.
Why don't you just go clean your face?
That's good. That's good. I'll feel better after I wash my face. When was the last time you laundered the towels?
This next monologue was very interesting to get to explore. In Assassins, composed by Stephen Sondheim and book by John Weidman, we follow a handful of, well, assassins. The show opens in a carnival setting where the assassins are promised the end to their problems. These assassins, whether successful or not, all share one thing in common. They were all after various presidents of the United States. In this monologue, I got to explore Lynette Squeaky Fromme, a real woman who actually tried to assassinate President Gerald Ford. I got to deep dive into Squeaky's history, including her involvement in the Manson family cult. In this monologue, Squeaky describes how she met Charles Manson, who she lovingly calls Charlie. Take a look at Squeaky from Assassins. I was like you once. Lost. Confused. A piece of shit. Then I met Charlie. I was sitting on a beach in Venice. I had just had a big fight with my daddy about, I don't know, my eye makeup or the bombing of Cambodia. He told me I was a whore and a drug addict, and I should get out of his house forever. So I went down to the beach, sat in the sand, and cried. Then this guy came down to the beach. This dirty-looking little elf. He smiled at me, and he said, "Your daddy kicked you out." How could he know? Your daddy kicked you out. My daddy didn't tell him, so who could have? God sent this dirty-looking little elf to save a little girl lost on a beach. He smiled again, and he touched my hair. And off he went. And for a moment, I just let him go. And then I ran, and I caught his hand. And until they arrested him from stabbing Sharon Tate, I never let go.
We have arrived at our final piece. This scene is a cutting from my friend Miles Douglas Garrett's short film entitled Gabriel. I got to work on this short film a while back for Miles' senior project. I got to share the screen with my friend Tristan Kile, and here we play brother and sister. What you're about to see is a man in the midst of the apocalypse. In this scene, Adam has just suffered a nasty bite from one of the zombies, and is essentially hallucinating the following encounters. Here we see Adam getting a visit from his deceased sister as she helps guide him through his pain and recall some of the events before her death. Please enjoy Gabriel by Jack Rusk and Miles Douglas Garrett.
Hey, big baby brother.
I'm
being a bit rude. I know you're a little shocked, but you could at least look at me.
It's my fault. All of it.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
I should have.
What's done is done. You made it out. We didn't. Those are the facts.
I wish I could do something differently.
I know, but would that have changed it?
It could have.
Listen, could have means nothing. You don't know if could have would have changed anything. You don't know. And it isn't for you to judge yourself for it. The trumpet sounded, but the judgment of your being belongs to something much greater than you.
I didn't save you.
How could you save us if you couldn't save yourself?
But I did.
You didn't.
I got away.
You got away then. In the end, regardless if they made it out or not, they still have to face judgment. It is sheer arrogance for you to believe that you could have protected me or led me to a different outcome. If we had been better, we could have avoided all of it. But we weren't.
Guess you escaped the shithole then. Because let me tell you, it got a whole lot worse when you left.
No. I didn't escape. Just like you, I was forced to seek out my own judgment on this. broken planet.
Why are you here?
To show you that just because this world is possessed by hell, doesn't mean that you are.
What? We gotta keep moving. Don't be stupid. That's what she'd say. I want to scream about how this isn't fair. I want to beat the ground and scream about how this is all bullshit. She'd tell me to stop that. She'd smack me until I'd listened. You're not the one who's gone. You get to live and keep trying. Even if you think it's not worth it, she thought it was. She thought that us living was worth it. That's why she fought. For us to live. To survive. We get to mourn for her. We get to feel sorry, but that's all we can do for her. Everything else would be for us. Not her. If you're where I think you are, we'll keep going. I promise.
You've done everything in your power to help me. Even when we were little, you've been there. And no matter the inevitable outcome, you shouldn't be judged on anything less.
I miss you. I wish you were here.
I am here. Hi, it's me again. I just wanted to thank you all for joining me on this adventure through my work. I would also like to take a moment to thank my friends, James Oakry for lights and sound, Hannah Rosser and Benjamin Mowrer for being the best scene partner a person could ask for, and to Miles for allowing me to showcase a scene from his short film. And finally, from the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank the faculty and staff that have given me so much guidance throughout my time here at YSU. I hope you all had as much fun watching as I did preparing this for you all. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.